Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Monsters. Fuck, man. Give me a second.
You're good.
What?
I'm too. You know how like you joke about me being like the dramatic person or whatever.
No,
Yeah.
you're such a
I
theater
don't know.
kid, dude.
I can exude theater kid, but I don't feel
No,
like
you
doing.
No, that's the real you. You should show the people. The people deserve to know.
Okay, I'll try again. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the maiden episode of the Monster Trio TCG podcast. I am one of your hosts, Henry, and with me we have Jaden and Owen. Say hello, guys.
What's up? How's it going?
Say something, Owen.
Oh, hey, how's it going? I'm Owen.
It's all good.
Well, yeah. So we are three avid players of the One Piece TCG, and we have playing the game a lot, and we just love this game, and we love, like...
We love yapping, honestly.
Yeah, I'm the Yap Master General. If you're tired of like your usual podcast player not knowing shit about the anime and the manga, don't worry about it anymore because we know too much about it.
And not only that, we like all the niche stuff of this card game, so we don't just play the meta, we play all the bad decks like that. We've been playing like custom formats at our local store, like a rainbow event of just use any card, purposefully using only commons, purposefully only using bad leaders. It's been a ton of fun. We have a good knowledge of this game, and we just thought it'd be fun to share it, and that we can give a fun, different perspective on everything.
Oh yeah, we do play a lot of weird formats, don't we? Now that I think about it, now that you said that.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing. Like, we can go into a little background of all of us. So, like, for me, like, I've been a One Piece fan for like 15 years. I caught up during Marineford, and I am huge into card games in general, like Magic. And when the One Piece game came out, I didn't know where to play. I'm just like, well, I love One Piece. I love card games. I don't really usually like card games based on an actual property. It's probably going to be bad, but I'll pick up a box. And I didn't have anyone to play with. But when Set 2 came out, I'm like, I gotta actually try this game. I've tried playing with my friend. It was fun. It seems like it's actually a good game. And I found Tabletop Village, where I met you two.
Yeah. No, Tabletop Village is the goated store, the best store in the PNW. I used to play
Only
card
gold-rated Bandai store.
The only gold-rated Bandai store because we're
Are you
the GOAT.
serious?
Yeah.
We're the only one.
Did I tell you guys that I was down in LA? And my girlfriend was wearing her like Tabletop Village sweatshirt, and she got recognized.
Yeah, no,
Because
people
of
know.
all the Pokemon
Basically,
events Tabletop Village does.
you can't go to a Pokemon tournament without like people. I mean, we go to Vancouver or Portland. It's like a quarter of the, like a fifth of the venue is Tabletop Village, right? Like we're just going to like massive tournaments together. It's awesome.
I'm part of the Pokemon scenes. I had no idea.
No, yeah,
Pokemon's
it's
huge there. Yeah.
we're like the North Star up here in the corner of the country. But no, I've been playing card games. I'm trying to squeeze that out since I was like 4. Me and my cousins used to run around on our local block and play Yu-Gi-Oh and steal each other's cards all the time. I've been playing card games since I was just since I could read. And I've always loved One Piece. I've been caught up since I was like 5. I used to read Shonen Jump magazine in my local 7-Eleven back when it was like this thick and it would get printed monthly. So when I saw that they were making a card game, I was like, oh, this is like made just for me. That's how I know life is a simulation. Because this can't be real. These are my 2 favorite things. And then now I get to just hang out in my store all day with my friend, just talking about my favorite things ever. It's just, you know what I mean? Like the odds are just so low.
I'm just so happy it's a good game. I never expected.
Yeah, they
kind of
nailed the gameplay in like Set 1 even, right? Like I remember when Set 1 came out, I remember playing it. I'm like, wait, this is actually like so simple, so elegant, and like really fun. And it's like there's a lot of interaction to it, which I really liked. I started reading One Piece when Monthly Shonen Jump came out. I think that was like over 20 years ago. And then I read weekly from Impel Down until Zoe, and I'm like, man, I can't keep reading after Fishman Island, Punk Hazard, Dressrosa. I'm like, dude, Oda's still got it. And then I caught up during like Wano, and I'm like, Oda's still got it. Oda's the GOAT. Like, there's no
early post time skip was rough to be a manga only person or manga reader.
For sure. I actually just recently rewatched Dressrosa, the anime. It's like the worst thing ever. It's so bad.
Well, that's the cool thing with the like Fishman Island remaster they're doing, because that was always the first arc. It's like, wow, the pacing is horrible. And now it's good. The animation's a little choppy sometimes, but like overall, like way better. And they're gonna do Dressrosa like next year.
I heard Oda actually was trying to turn Dressrosa into 2 arcs, like Greenbit and Dressrosa. His editor's like, no, bro, you have a tournament arc inside of Dressrosa already. How can you
wanted to make
Greenbit into its own arc?
The Tarantadas, and then Dressrosa to be separate arcs.
Yeah.
Because there's like the Island of Giants, right? So he wants the Island of Dwarves. Yeah, the editor was like, fuck no, you're not doing this. Hell no. Which really sucks, because I would love to see a Greenbit arc, but it's fine. It's probably for the best.
Yeah. I mean, they're fun, but maybe we would have enjoyed them more if we had to go to focus on them. That's been like one of the issues with post-time skip is that we didn't get like the small, silly arcs. We've only gone on long, epic arcs that are like triple the free ones. Oh no!
Oh my god!
We'll just forget about that. Don't worry about it.
Oda's like cashing in on all the world building like coupons he's like collected over the years, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I think if he did like another Long Ring Long Land, people would like riot, right? I love Long Ring Long Land. We all talked about this yesterday. I love Long Ring Long Land. I think it's so fun, but like I don't know. I think the scale of One Piece is like gotten bigger than Long Ring Long Land, right?
I just love all the theories with Long Ring Long Land where the Straw Hats are going to have like a Davy back fight with the red hair pirates, and if it's going to happen, it's going to be like this arc, like while they're in Elba. So,
yeah. Okay.
Let's likely right now.
Get to today's agenda, because if we start talking about the manga, we're going to talk about it all day.
That's very true. So yeah,
like,
just as far as we thought for our first episode we would make sure we gave some introductions to ourselves, but also just talk about like the current state of news for the game, because we have like 2 upcoming big announcements coming up. The first one being the One Piece Day announcement that's going to be made in Texas with like the English language head, and then the ban announcement that they announced it's going to be at the Bandai Card Fest in Japan later in March. So as far as One Piece Day, and this is going to happen in America, I think we're all pretty much in agreement that we're probably going to get the announcement for the global sync up with the Eastern and Western meta.
For sure.
All of Bandai's card games are doing that. It would be pretty silly otherwise. And it'll just be nice because every time we start a format, we basically get a solid format. There's been one deck ever that popped up in the Western format that didn't in the Eastern one, and that was when Blue Croc became big in like OP3 for like a month.
It was like 4.5.
Which was awesome.
Film Kid is also a Western only development, and also all the yellow players in set 3 saved us from the Rebecca Apocalypse in set 4. I remember as a red player, I was like, oh man, I really love playing Zora Red Green Law. Rebecca's gonna ruin the game, and then all the Katakuri players saved it for us so we could keep playing Red Green Law every
Whenever
single
I bumped into
tournament.
Rebecca at locals, it was like the most free matchup in the world. It was great.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
I just remember I've had so many funny Rebecca matchups. When I was playing Enel, I think I played against Rebecca once, and using Katakuri, I put all 4 7-cost Luffys into their life.
That's how you gotta do it.
Waiting until I could safely strike and kill them. It was wild.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's so awful.
Should we go do introductions now? Should we get?
I think we already kind of just did our introductions. We didn't talk about. We were going to talk about our favorite decks.
Yeah.
But I think we can just continue for now. We'll get to that before the ban lists.
Sure.
But so just one other thing about One Piece Day and the rumors is that there are rumors that the next set of reprint starter decks for the 4 Yonko, the current Yonko. What are the other two?
Bonnie,
Yamato and Bonnie. Yeah. It looks like we're going to get those at the same time as Japan. And that'll be the first worldwide release product. And we'll see what happens with the other stuff. Maybe EV2 will get like merged into OP11 in the West. Who knows?
You know that one meme of that people that's circulating of like the winner of Korean Nationals has to like absorb OPO5 through OPO9 all at once to play Worlds, right? And it's just like it's like when like it's like when Light like regains all his memories in Death Note, he's just like like he's just like fast forwarding to the future with all the information going to him. I feel like that's could you imagine like the Korean players just like going from OPO4, it's like straight to OP11?
They have the Korean stuff available on the sim, so I imagine that they probably already play with the cards, right?
I don't know how popular the sim is in the East, is it?
When Korean Sim came out, Korean Farming came out, I was so excited to play it. I like built a new Red Green Law list because I was so down to play Red Green Law mirrors, and there was just nobody playing Korean Sim. I don't even know how many people play Korean Sim.
Okay, maybe not then.
Like, can you imagine like going to the internet cafe and everyone's just queuing up League of Legends and you're just queuing OPTCG Sim, like trying to practice OP09 format?
So yeah,
it's just sad that they're so far behind.
I know, it sucks for them. I really hope that they get caught up one day, but us first.
Are they invited to Worlds? Like, does their team get the Worlds?
No, they're going from OP04 to OP09. They're skipping Sakazuki meta. They're skipping the red purple Law Apocalypse. They're skipping everything to go to OP09.
I mean, if you're not good of a player, they were probably already playing online, like in like the more recent metas, anyways. Like Jaden was saying, even if it wasn't on the Sim.
Bro, the setup for the Bandai Card Fest like World Championship is always so funny because they get 12 Japanese players, and then like I think 4 players from the rest of Asia, and then like 2 from Oceania, 2 Latin America, 2 from the UK, 2 from North America, and then I think I'm missing another spot. But it's always funny that it's like, 2 people from like these whole continents are fighting to get, and then we get 12 Japanese players.
And none of them made top 3 at the first Worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Guano.
I didn't realize it was that bad, the ratio. It just makes me think of like the World Series of Baseball or whatever in America. It's like all American teams and like maybe 1 Canadian one.
Yeah, but like I feel like all the baseball teams in America are just all Japanese and Dominicans.
they all got there with crazy decks, right? Like I remember the best player in Japan, Tsuki Usagi, got there with like Uta and got to Worlds with Uta last year.
Yeah, that was like a huge deal.
And then some dude is going to Worlds with like, and he earned it with Red Green Smoker, right?
No, that guy is the GOAT though. I've seen all his games. The way he plays that deck is like he knows, he's like reading the other person's mind. It's crazy.
Well, you mean just play Spud every turn?
No, bro, he was like there's some plays that doesn't swing at the opponent going into their 5-down turn because they had like 0-0 out, and he's like, I don't want you to draw 2 cards and ramp 1, and then he whiffs off the Spud, and he's like, and then boom, he just gets getting abused. But no, it's crazy. I think he baits like a Shanks player into like blocking like a free block. Oh no, this.
Oh, you should explain that Spud is what Spud is what
they call Spud Santi Pudding, the new EB2 one Spud.
I think it's sick. As soon as Jaden said Spud, I thought it was sick, so I started saying Spud too.
Spud is I forget where I didn't come up with it, but I heard it somewhere.
Sick. I love Spud.
And I was like, this is just the name. It's easy to say. Sanji Pudding is so long. It's just Spud, you know?
Yeah.
That's fair. I just think of it as like the new Sanji. But yeah. Any thoughts about the starter decks being reprints of the Yonko and Yamato and Bonnie?
I'm excited. I think Yamato and Bonnie definitely need support. I can't wait to see the 2 new SRs for Blackbeard. 2 Blackbeard SRs sounds disgusting. And then we need black support for the PB Luffy really bad. Purple black is such a weird color combo because there's no goal, right? You're not really ramping towards something. Usually, most of the time, the black top end is underwhelming, except for Gecko Moria. But if you don't have, if you don't have like a crazy payoff like Lucci, where you're getting like a 5-body board, it's just not worth it, you know?
I think the fun about bans soon. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was gonna say when we talk about bans soon, we'll see if they even have Moria when that deck comes out.
Sure. What were you saying, Owen?
I think people don't know how to build Purple Black Luffy in the sense that it doesn't seem like it's a ramp to a boss monster kind of deck. It seems more like you're abusing Dawn minus effects, right? Like that's because you basically every leader, the way you want to build it is to like use its leader ability as often as possible, like all the time, right? And I think it's like mostly just built around like abusing good overstated Dawn minus effects. But like I don't think there's like an identity for the deck yet, right? Like we don't know necessarily what Purple Black Luffy. It doesn't seem like it fits neatly into an aggro tempo or like control based archetype.
Yeah. I've played this for all
of
those, and they're all kind of mid, so it's like hard to find out.
Yeah, and if you compare like Purple Black Luffy and Purple Green Luffy, for example, like Purple Black Luffy is it's your enabler, like where it makes you recover from minus Dawn, where Purple Green Luffy it's your outlet. It's the minus Dawn. You play like enablers like Sanji Pudding to get back. So it just doesn't really do anything on its own, and there aren't enough things that are good enough outlets to keep up with the current meta. And maybe in the starter deck they'll do more. Because the problem is, like, Luffy Taro, if that was -1 or more Dawn, then it would be a lot better. But because it doesn't have that, it's rough.
Oh, that
I
sounds
think
terrible.
I think a boss monster that just says like activate main -2, pop something would be very cool for the deck. Or it's just like, oh, every turn, bro, I'm doing this. I'm popping something every turn.
Oh, that'd be sick. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and then just leader lock it to Straw Hats because there's only like one black purple. Yeah, there's only one black purple Straw Hat leader, so it's like you're not gonna play in Luffy Taro or in like Pluffy because it's like you don't want to Dom minus every turn. And you wouldn't play it in. Actually, you wouldn't play it in the green or the blue purple variants because then that would be too much Dom minus. The other one needs to ramp as fast as possible, and you probably wouldn't play in a Robin.
Yeah, or they could do like that new like Gear Second card where it's like it's a one color card but says like do X also if your leader's the other color.
Oh,
like
sure.
they're pseudo multicolor cards.
Yeah.
Like maybe they can do a pseudo multicolor card for that deck because that deck needs a bigger push.
Maybe like an overstated like cost reduction kind of card. I don't know if there's like that many poppers for purple black Luffy, right? Like
I don't think there's a lot of cost reduction available though. So I think you need like a consistent you need a card like Jack, except that's a bit lower on the stats but higher on the removal to compensate. I think that would work well because if you're dominating 2 every turn, I feel like that's a fair like trade. But because you have the leader that gets it back, then it's like, okay, then this card is made for this deck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the second mono black Luffy starter deck, where like the 5-cost black KO Sanji came out, it was just built to be so much more fair. Like, because it has that Robin that could do like -4 cost or something like that. But that's just too rare and too fair and too slow for the current meta.
Yeah, all the decks right now are busted, right? Like, I don't want to play fair. I want to play like disgusting, broken, busted, right?
Yeah.
Well, on that note, maybe we can start moving towards talking about the bans. Do you want to first give everyone kind of a look at what kind of decks we like to play? We're talking about our favorite decks to play.
Sure.
So we just thought to give an idea of what kind of play style we like to play. We just share some of that. So as far as like the 3 favorite decks that I've had and what deck I'm playing right now, over time, Blue Yellow Queen was my favorite deck of all time. I like to play big, tall characters. I like to play control, and Queen was the complete master of that. Besides that, Blue Yellow Crocodile is Yellow Purple Crocodile is like the second closest to that kind of thing. And using Oko My Way to redirect attacks to Okiku's to surprise healed one when people assume they have lethal is absolutely perfect. And I also
you're always like a theater kid about it too, Henry. You'd be like, "Oh, you've like fallen for my trap now."
They did fall for my trap.
He always did that. Like every single time he would happen, he's like, "Ah ha ha!" And he would always say it like that, right?
No,
it's a lot better
some of the times.
And now it's basically
like all the time, dude. This guy is such a theater kid.
Sure.
Basil Hawkins, Okama in Crocodile is just like magical cylinders and Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know if you've ever used that card. He's just like, you hit yourself now, haha.
That's probably like the coolest thing in our OP10, the yellow shenanigans. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
Like just most interesting. And then the last one I wanted to say is Blue Luffy, because earlier in the game when you could get away with off-meta decks, I think like promo Blue Luffy was one of the silliest decks to play because no one had any idea what I was playing.
Yeah,
I mean, I was just playing discount Sakazuki, but besides that, it was very fun.
My favorite decks have always been Katakuri, Pudding, because I'm a degenerate, and I love to gamble. I'm really into trading card games, so that means I have a small gambling addiction, right? So playing
the Yellow Master here.
It's like Coco Melon for me, bro. It's like a slot machine and a card game. Great. I played Cat Force from like 3 to 6. My favorite part of the game is when you could go Big Mom and then into reject 12-12 for the game. That was the best. When they're at 2 life, you just play Big Mom, and it's like, all right, you reject this, and you have to eat 2 12s. If you get out the 2 12s, then you deserve to win. If you can't, then I'm taking this, bro.
I don't even know if that ever happened to me, because Yellow and Reject was only in our meta for like a month, because it was because we got it banned early.
Yeah, I made sure to use it.
That card was really.
I made sure to
really
use the fuck out of that card.
Yeah. I guess for me, I get a dopamine rush when I turn characters sideways to hit them, and so I think out of the three like resources of life, I mean, my friend told me that One Piece is a game where you have life, hand, and board, and you can't let any one of them get out of control. And I like truly believe that like controlling board is like just the most important factor in playing the game at all. So I guess my favorite decks of all time have been, I love Zoro. I played from set 1 through set 5. I love RP Law. I played it from when it came out to when it got banned, and I loved playing Boa Hancock. I think that was a really fun deck to build around. Yeah, I don't like yellow because I think it controls I think the cards are understated. I don't think they do enough to control board, and I just feel like it's just I don't want to win because my life is good. I want to win because I'm good. You know.
You can do both. You can do both.
Yeah. At least for me, for when I was playing Queen, it felt like didn't feel like gambling because I was setting up my life. Like everything in there, I put there. So like sometimes I'd get lucky when I was losing life the first time, but once I was powering it back up, like healing twice a turn, that was all me.
Yeah.
I'm so sad that EV2 did not give any love to some of my favorite old leaders that are bad now, like Queen, Black Yellow Big Mom. It's not getting anything in OP11 either. Ah, man. I like these Healy control shenanigan decks.
Yeah, I really wanted Black Big Mom Pirates, but they took it a different direction where they just went navy for 2 different colors, and then everyone else can go fuck themselves.
Well, we'll talk about that in our next podcast.
Navy. Isn't that crazy?
What'd you say?
Yeah, they got 3 colors of navy. Isn't that crazy?
Navy is almost every color now.
It's 4 colors. It's 4 colors.
Navy has black as its primary color, but we have a red leader that's navy, a green leader that's navy, a blue leader that's navy. Technically, even purple if you count Zephyr. The only one that we're missing is yellow, I think. A black yellow or something. Maybe.
There's one card, it's the Kuzan, that bounces a 3 cost back to your opponent's life.
Oh, yeah, but that's just like
that's
a package. So it's not really like, so there's a yellow navy card. I'm sure there's others, but that one's a Robin
and
card.
Saul.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know if that one's considered. I think it's like former navy or something.
You know, before this, I asked Kobe, asked my friend Kobe, what kind of decks do I play? He's like, oh, and you just won't play jank. You just won't play jank. You're always just playing the stupid cracked out leaders.
You play jank or like top of the meta aggro.
Yeah.
Like Dofi and Red Purple Law and Red Green Law when it was top of the meta. You really
I
loved
played Red Green Law in OPO7. I like.
Well, then
crazy.
it was jank.
No, I thought it was good. It had a good BYU.
No, it was good, bro. We won our 3v3 with that.
That's true.
I won. I beat Choza with that at the end of Conquest League.
Yeah.
That was my goat.
Cool. You want to transition into the ban cards list now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, one thing that we had announced was that day 2 of Bandai Card Fest, we're going to have a ban announcement. And what we were thinking was what possible bans are going to happen. So, we know obviously Dofi has been a top meta threat for quite a long time, but we also just have black decks as a whole. Luffy has still remained very popular. Then there's BY Luffy, and those ones are kind of the ones that most people are eyeing for bans. But one thing we wanted to talk about more is like the data around that and why they ban things. And in general, like there's always going to be a best leader, but sometimes I think they just ban things because things get stale. Like Dofi, like a set 1 leader being on top of the meta for like 3 sets is strange.
They want to sell you more cardboard. They want you to buy new things.
I mean, Dofi's like a cheap deck, right? Dofi's just 2 starter decks mostly, right?
Pretty much, yeah. 2 starter decks and then $40 for the gym base.
Yeah, you need gym base and Weevils. That's like from EV1. That's like it.
Yeah, me personally, this might be a hot take. I don't think any cards should be banned. I wouldn't ban anything if I could. I would just take Moby Dick off the ban list. I wouldn't ban anything, but I do understand that they probably feel pressure from the community to ban stuff. I think on the chopping block for blue, people have been talking about Boa, Teach, Law, and Pudding. And Jinbei, yeah. Those 5 cards. So we can probably start there. I don't think pudding needs a ban. I think if pudding is like if you're getting abused by pudding, you're bad. Pudding is a skill check card, and I feel like
I think pudding keeps you honest, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm playing Bonnie and I'm like not playing against a blue deck, I'm just taking all my life, so I have counter to defend Kid with, right? If they can't destroy my hand and they don't have hard removal for Kid, I'm auto winning that matchup, right?
Oh, for sure.
Bonnie.
I think we all remember before you played the game, or before they printed pudding, right? Before 6. Wall decks were like the most annoying things to play against, right? Because if your opponent can just set up on you and hide behind a wall and have like 20 cards at hand, you just sit there pissed off for 5 minutes until they beat you. It's not fun. And I think having pudding in the meta and having hand control cards like Purple Law, the blocker, or Isho, yeah, helps keep the game a bit more. Yeah, helps keep the game honest, like Owen said.
Also,
like. What was that?
Verona is another one that's all out of play.
Yeah. Just because, like, if there's no hand control, then I'm just kind of encouraged to just take all my life and then wall up and then just abuse you from that point on. Like, if you're not playing black, you're just going to get abused. And I don't think that's fun. I think that's kind of like a control-y style play. And I think limiting the amount of control in the meta is really important to a card game success. Because we were talking about this yesterday. It's more fun for a aggro deck to be the best deck in format than a control deck to be the best deck in format.
Yeah, I do like that Dofflamingo gatekeeps Blackbeard a bit, you know? Like, I feel like it'd be super unfun if Blackbeard was like the top, like, most represented deck, right?
Yeah. Control is inherently just anti-fun. It's I get to play the game, you don't get to play the game. Right? It's like getting hit by a semi-truck or getting Thanos snapped out of existence. You pick one. I picked the semi-truck.
Yeah, but that's one of the reasons why I think Law and Sakazuki remaining banned kind of is fair. Like, both of those were the masters of, I just kill everything you play, no matter what, and I'm playing a board. Being able to do both at the same time is just unreasonable.
Yeah, those two are like the best control decks ever printed, and they're... I remember whenever I went into Law at local, I was just like, all right, well, I get to pretend to play the game. I get to pantomime playing cards, and on the crackback, I have nothing.
I mean, Law was also bricky because it just became like I played so much Law, but I think as the deck switched from a like, because I remember in set 5 the main build was like you played actual Heart Pirates, Kid Pirates, and Straw Hats, and it was like use the 1-cost, and you played 3-cost Law and you played the 1-cost like when you're at Sea event, and then like when it switched to like I'm just gonna shove Reiju and Queen in here just as like a generic good stuff deck. It was just like, oh, this deck's feeling too high roll for my taste, you know.
But then with Reiju and Black Maria and then 3-cost Pudding just made it too reliable. Because as long as you got anything that drew you cards, you were good. And you wouldn't ever go down on Dawn. You'd just be just as high as anyone else.
Yeah, you're getting a 10 Dawn. 10 Dawn Law is crazy.
I'm glad we never had to play that meta.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Bandai, for giving us the pre-ban for set 8, because the set 8 meta was the worst meta of all time. Like, at least Sakazuki was tier 0 at Worlds. Cool. Ban the leader. That's boring. Mm-hmm. But Law was tier 0 everywhere. It was awful.
Yeah, it was winning every single tournament in Japan.
Yeah. I think he had, 8 tops, and Lucci had 4 tops, and it was, every single, finals was just Lucci and Law, and whoever was the lucky player won.
Yeah. Both are kind of high roll decks, yeah.
So either way, one thing, we should just talk about what do we think they might actually ban. So I know we mentioned some names, but Jaden, did you want to go over some of the tournament results? Just so that we have some actual stats on what they might tinker with?
So I had them in the East, right? Let's see if I can find it. But...
So I know that you shared with us that as far as some Asian Bandai tops, Lucci has won 2 events. Luffy has won 2 events. Blackbeard has won 2 events. Dofi's only won 1. Purple Luffy has won 1, and BY Luffy has won 1. That's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
So the other thing that we didn't gather though is just dominance of how many decks show up. So immediately we can see there, it seems like a pretty even meta. Nothing had more than 2 wins, but I don't know if representation in tournaments overall that would track.
So I think representation is pretty high. I think it's always around 30-40%, which is a bit, especially in the top 32, which is a bit I guess concerning. I think it's a bit concerning from a position of audience, right? I think Bandai doesn't want to show people the same thing over and over again, and people don't want to see the same thing over and over again. So I think that's definitely on their mind. The reason why I don't think the Dofi leader is getting banned, and I don't think that they're going to hit him too crazy, is because I believe that a lot of the set 11 leaders are designed specifically to beat Dofflamingo. Like, so many of them seem like they're designed with Dofflamingo in mind.
They're designed to go tall or kill bodies, which means they, like, blue yellow Nami, blue purple Luffy, purple Katakuri, all of them are hugely defensive. They're like basically 6K or 6K, 7K leaders on defense.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kobe gets to attack active characters like it's nothing. Jinbei and Shirahoshi have the new Jinbei that lets you attack active character or attack with your characters. Attack characters the first time you play them. Yeah. That's green pseudo rush stuff. Like, they have a lot of tools at their disposal to deal with Dofi like aggro decks. I think the 4 costs go wide strategy is something that OP11 is going to completely hamper.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the thing with Dofflamingo is, like, if we're talking about a snapshot of the current meta, like, I feel like Lucci beats Dofi. It's like 55-45. Bonnie slightly beats Dofi. BY Luffy beats Dofi. I mean, like, the question is like, these decks just all like exist in like a RPS with each other, right? Bonnie, BY Luffy, and Lucci. And I think that like Shanks just beats Bonnie straight up. But like, it can 50-50. It's unfavored to Dofi if Dofi just like knows how to play the meta and matchup and just like swings like at face the entire time and doesn't just like break the early game. But I truly think that like Dofi is not an unhealthy deck to have as the best deck in the meta. I think it has a pretty interactive mirror. I think it's pretty interesting to play. It gatekeeps Blackbeard from it because Blackbeard has very lopsided. It gatekeeps a deck with very lopsided matchups. It has very even matchups, and like if you're choosing not to play Dofflamingo, you're choosing to take a good matchup into it, right? Like you're just choosing to play matchup roulette outside of Dofflamingo.
Yeah, pretty much.
One thing I could see them doing is, especially during like these announcements, is banning it in the West only, so that we don't have the same OP10 meta.
I'll be fine with that. I'll be totally fine with that.
Yeah, I could see them doing that because, like we were just talking about, like OP11 is going to counter Dofi. I think all of the cards that they're printing are pretty much just trying to convert go wide meta to go tall meta, which is great. I love that. I love that so much. That is my meta.
It's not Owen's favorite. It's our favorite.
It's not Owen's favorite, but it's ours.
I mean, I think control versus control is just like whatever bomb beats their bombs wins. Right?
I don't want it to be control versus control. Just I want to play the big splashy stuff.
Yeah, I'll see you with my 6 Morias. You know, I'll just be infinite looping my Morias. I'll see you then with Lucci, right?
Speaking of that, I think I know a lot of people are talking about banning stuff out of Dofi and then banning stuff out of Black. I think this might be the moment we see bans out of Black, because I think Black has too many tools to stop individual targets. Stop going tall decks. Like if you have one Ice Age and a Jack, you just delete their 8 costs like nothing. That's one thing I saw that was interesting was I know a lot of people have been talking about like banning Moria, just because like being able to do Moria into Rebecca into like the Luigi combo, all of that has been this ridiculous thing that we've had for over a year, and everyone's just kind of sick of it. So I can see them banning it just because it's just so obnoxious.
Also, they're not reprinting Moria anymore, so they don't. There's no money for them to lose at this point.
They did sold all the
premium. You've already bought one.
So I could see them banning Moria. I don't really care either way. I think if they do that, BY Luffy is completely toast for a while, which is a shame because that's my current deck. But what I would rather have is I want a card like that, like Moria, designed for that deck. I want like a 7 cost or whatever that just summons back 2 babies or whatever. That's like a 7/7 that does that, or I don't know.
Sure. I mean, honestly, they can just make it like an 8/6.
I don't know. I want them to do something a little bit more interesting, but there should just be a yellow card that works in Luffy, Sabo, and Ace that does a similar kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Maybe a 6 cost that puts them back into your hand or something.
That'd be cool. Or like a 5 cost brother that plays one of them from the trash.
Oh yeah,
like a black 5 cost Luffy.
Well, they shouldn't make it black. They should make it, well, I guess only BY Luffy is getting hit. But it could be a good opportunity to help the other ones because, like, Blue Yellow Ace, I'm still annoyed that that new EV card for Ace is not a 2K counter. Like, that deck needs a lot of love. I really like that deck.
Only Sabo gets support from the Three Brothers deck. Sabo gets so much random support, and the other ones
right.
Hey, BY Ace has gotten a shockingly large amount of support. Just like random, like when Marco was the leader, like there were just a few random cards.
Yeah, he does it the next start.
A few random cards for Ace. There's been a few random cards for Ace. There's still like a promo Ace, I think, that we never got.
Oh,
like, there's
yeah,
like the fast volume that we never got.
Of the best volume 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say a few things about possible cards that I think we get banned. I think Dofflamingo is actually a healthy deck to have on the top of the format. I think the one thing I would actually ban is I would ban Sengoku. I think that the way that you can accrue Sengoku to recur Law, I think Law is like part of that deck's identity of like recurring resources having removal. It's what makes the deck strong and fun. But I think being able to like just keep plussing cards by replaying your own Sengoku over and over again is kind of degenerate.
It is kind of degenerate.
Yeah,
searching for the exact piece you need is really valuable.
Yeah, I think I'd rather keep the deck more focused on like having to scry all the time with like Peronas and Boas and stuff. So I would just ban Sengoku from Dofflamingo.
You know what? That is actually a pretty good point.
Yeah.
That reduces the consistency of things so much. Because there's so many games where I'm like, my top 5 cards are trash. So I'm just like, oh, whatever. I'm just going to play Sengoku in 2 turns and just go dig through those, put them at the bottom, try and find something else. And then if I don't like it, I'm going to law it back to my hand and play it again. I'm going to dig the top 20 cards until I find the Jinbei.
I could totally see that. But I do think Teach might also go in that regard, just because it gives you a way to keep the engine going for very little resources. Maybe without Sengoku, that wouldn't be as bad.
Teach too, but the way I was thinking about it is like recently this week, I've been playing a lot of games, and I've been winning a lot of them without even seeing the Teach. You know, but I'm always going to play the Sengoku. Like, I'm always going to... Like, I think Sengoku is actually giving you more value than the Teach, because the games where I don't see Sengoku, I feel like are games where I lose. But the games where I don't see the Teach, I'm like, I'll figure this out.
You guys have been playing Doki a lot more than me, so...
To, like, actually find the pieces. Because I think the point is, right, like, a big thing that gets decks banned is, one, it's the share of the meta. Right, how close are they to tier 0, and the consistency, right? I feel like when Law and Sakazuki, when they hit like their maximum stride, is when they just became hyper consistent. And you can even see in like the ban report on the website that's like the specific reason why they banned the leader, because they're like, Sakazuki, you find the card. You draw 2 cards a turn, you're gonna find the card you're looking for. And I think Dofflamingo is kind of getting to that point where it's like you are always going to find the piece.
Yeah, it's like it sets up. I think it makes the deck like. I think Sengoku like boosted the deck to like absurd levels of consistency. I think the deck like having to expend Don to like rebounce your like Perona and like reuse your Perona over and over again. I think it would make the deck a lot more fair
I think so too.
Yeah, that's my.
You don't get the card advantage.
Yeah, and I think it becomes less reliant because Teach combos so well with Sengoku, right? Because like you just like search for what you have and then you just play off of Teach. Like you get to swing harder than developing the body at all, right? And you get more consistency that way. And like you're gonna bounce your own Sengoku anyways with the Law if you find the Law. I think that I would ban Sengoku, and that hurts Boa Hancock, hurts my heart to do it, but I think I would.
Not that much though. Like you have so much built-in draw on Boa. You can figure it out. Also, Boa needs to move away from a Warlords package to her own like dedicated package.
But like now it's moving so bad.
It's moving more towards like Blue Shanks, where it's just like it's a pile of the best blue cards.
I built this deck like, and I posted it a few like back in OP 8.5. I built Navy Boa. Because you can search with Tashigi, you can search for Grav Blade and Sengoku, and I was playing Borsalino, and Borsalino is like, bottom decks 4-drops, right? So I was just using that to try to beat Dofflamingo, but I realized like when I was playing like my Jinbei Law combo, I'm like, oh, they're just Jinbei Lawing better than I can Jinbei Law, and they're building a hand bigger than my hand because I have like an artificial hand size limit and they don't, right? It's like just like the same mirror, and I just am not hitting as hard as they are, right?
Yeah.
But I think if I drew into all my Borsalinos at the right time, it was like solid. And if I like could grab blade them over and over again, it was like solid. But it was not like a consistent enough strategy to beat Dofflamingo on Navy.
I would also be very okay with them errataing the leader to be just like Moria, where it's you attach 1, pay 2.
Oh yeah.
Because I think Moria's effect is overbalanced. It's too fair. Because if you trash a card, and then
Dofi.
6.
Yeah.
But for Dofflamingo, I don't have to do anything. I can just blind do it, and if I get something off the top of the deck, it's just free advantage, right? I'm playing a 4 cost for 1 Dawn, and then like Arlong also. I think he is also fair because like I'm playing it from my hand, right? Whereas the other 2 are playing it from
the top deck. Yeah, it's like drawing a card.
Yeah, it's drawing a card. Yeah. I think Gecko Moria should be swing 7, pay 1, and Dofflamingo should be a swing 6, pay 2.
Well, Moria was definitely like really strong. Like that was also one of the decks I played, and that was the one that I grinded when I was playing really seriously. And then when me, you, and Archer, our other friend, did that 3-on-3 tournament, we won. And
were you on Moria that day?
Yeah, dude. I grinded Moria so I wouldn't let you guys down. Or wait, was that the second 3-on-3 that we did lose? Maybe I was on Red Purple Luffy that one.
I think you were on Red Purple Luffy for one of them for sure, and you were on Moria for one.
Oh, you were on Moria for our second one, yeah.
Yeah, the one that we lost.
Yeah, I lost.
I won, like, I won almost every game.
It was like the second week of set 6. I thought Yamato was gas. I was like, I drank the Kool-Aid. I thought it was gas. And then I was playing Cal, and he just out-controlled the board, and I just couldn't do anything else.
I feel like Yamato having synergy with the developing board is like not a good. I think that's what kept the leader weak, you know?
Yeah.
Well, we were also playing against like the team that had like one of our like almost world-renowned players. So like maybe I shouldn't say that about Cal. Like I don't remember if he's done any of the huge events, but he's insanely good. So good.
Yeah,
I know Victor's like gone to huge events.
Yeah. That's actually, I beat Victor for our first win for the 3v3. He was playing big. And I had to swing 22 with Big Mom. He didn't have, I think he had 20.
Damn.
That's amazing.
Well, okay, so I think we probably talked plenty about Dofi. We probably should mention Gum Gum Giant. I know a lot of people are talking about that one for purple, but I don't think Purple Luffy is consistent enough to worry about that card. And again, there's only 2 leaders that I guess there's about to be 4 leaders that can do it.
It's
Purple
the
Luffy,
one card...
Purple Black Luffy, Purple Yellow Robin, and the new Green Purple Luffy.
Gum Gum Giant keeps Purple Luffy playable against Dofflamingo. Like there's no it's the only reason you get to live forever in the late game, and it's the only thing like not that matchup is bad, but it's not like it not being horrendous is like only because of Gum Gum Giant, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I think the card is balanced. This might be a hot take. I think the card is balanced. Like, after watching like the Japanese finals this weekend, like when the PG Luffy's when their backs against the wall and they have to use Giant and they don't have 10 Dawn, it's such a severe punishment. Like Giant is only good at 10 Dawn. If you use Giant before 10 Dawn, that you just get punished so hard. You have to stay at wherever you're at. If you're at like 5 Dawn, you're staying at 5 Dawn. You get to make no plays. Yeah, you cycle the card, but it's like you can't even play the card. You don't have Dawn.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking. Sure. Like I have found it to be like people don't respect that it's horrible early. Horrible. Yeah. And you don't want to be using 2 at the same time, because then you'll just be so like if you're not able to win on your next turn, using 2 in this at a time is awful.
Yeah, it's throwing.
I think, and yeah, like none of the purple Straw Hat decks are particularly good, like dominant right now. Like mono purple Luffy's really good. Like I'm not gonna lie, like he's definitely like, but he's not like top. He's like tier 1 instead of like, or like A instead of S. Yeah, I would say,
sure.
Just because of the consistency issues. Which it's a Straw Hat deck. It'll get better over time, so who knows? But I think it kind of reminds me of what like mono purple Luffy kind of reminds me of what like Whitebeard was like in OP2 and 3 meta, where you're losing your life constantly because you have to suck away your own life for value. And instead of your 9-cost Whitebeard, you have 9-cost Big Mom to undo that.
Yeah.
And instead of Radical Beam, now you have Gum Gum Giant, because like Radical Beam's not even good at. No red decks play that anymore.
Except for Smoker.
Well, we're not okay in the West.
Sorry,
we're not there yet.
Well,
Yeah.
but
so I'm not. Yeah,
Imperial. He always plays the new sets. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm already playing.
Bro, they need to set this up, bro. But I also think that's like connecting all the points, right? Is like I think we were talking about this yesterday. In the West, you play a meta for like 6 months. Like if you're like me and you play the Japanese stuff early, you have it for 6 months, right? And I think by the end of the 6 months, on like month 5, month 6, you're just tired. Like you're tired of saying the same thing. It's boring. Everybody's just playing super optimally. Like there's no creativity in it. Like that's one thing I always love about Pokemon is that whatever the format is, somebody's always cooking up something crazy because the card pool is so wild, right? And nobody knows what's really the best thing. I mean, people kind of know.
My friend Cameron says it, but Japanese Pokemon players just troll, dude. Their like lists are just like absurd. Like they don't make any sense.
So okay, so I guess we should wrap it up now. So what do you guys think our final bans will be?
I want to say this really quick. I don't think that. I think I think the best ban is Sengoku from Dofflamingo.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the black player in me speaking, but I don't think black is in an extremely dominant position right now.
I don't think so either.
I would not ban Moria and I would not ban Giant. I would literally only ban Sengoku, which is a really weird take.
You know, no, it's okay. Oh, when you've convinced me, I agree with you. I think I would only ban Sengoku too, because I think with Blackbeard in the meta and then Blackbeard getting a starter deck, like Black's not going to be dominant. Like the only dominant deck that's going to be Black is going to be Blackbeard, because every other Black deck. If Blackbeard gets any stronger, they don't get to play the game.
I will play devil's advocate, though. I think they're going to be heavier with the bans. I think usually whenever they do bans, they ban anywhere from 2 to 4 cards. I don't think we're going to get any of the leaders banned. I think Sengoku, you really convinced me that that's a good idea. I have a feeling it's not going to be banned.
I don't think so.
Because just banning generic searcher, they haven't done that since like they temporarily banned Nami, which was really weird. When they banned it in the West for like a few months, in the OP3, I think. I think they will ban one of the main pieces. I think they'll probably ban Law, which is unfortunate because that's like a huge stray for Boa. But I think like Law is probably the one that's causing the most havoc. I do think Moria probably stays around. If they try doing any combo ban things, if you can't use these cards together, doing a Moria-Rebecca combo ban would be great. I think both of those cards are really fair and balanced on their own. I think together they're a mess. And then, I think that's pretty much it. I
think it just does. I think it just ruins Lucci's consistency even more. Like I don't think it makes Lucci necessarily like. It makes it like slightly weaker, but I think it just like makes the deck like an unplayable mess, though. You know what I mean? Like
if you think they don't care though.
If you go on the trading card game Reddit, people act like Bounce Law killed their whole fucking family. If you ever open up the One Piece Reddit, bro, they're like, Bounce Law, he crept into my house and then he killed my sister. It's like, bro, they hate Bounce Law on the Reddit, bro. It's crazy. And I think a lot of people on the Reddit are bad, low key, because you see the most horrendous takes on the Reddit. It's like the craziest place. I think all the real card game players hide in Discord and like all the normies go on Reddit. That might be a hot take, but I think that's
not a hot take.
I think that's definitely what happens. But Reddit will tell you that Bounce Law is a fucking axe murderer, bro. Like they make you think Bounce Law is the most evil card in the world. But because of that, I think it might get banned just because I feel like the stink around him is so good. But I feel like players, if you're playing against Dofflamingo, you swing at them for 9. You don't even play a 4-drop into their face because they're just going to bounce it.
Yeah, I just think Law letting you recur the 1-drops, like putting in Sengoku, is just the reason why we'll go after it. Because Sengoku is just a searcher. Law lets you keep replaying the searcher. And I think that's where the problems... I think that's what they'll say.
Yeah, I think so too. Because Law...
Grown is enough for Doffy.
Law is... Bounce Law is Dofflamingo's Reiju. You know what I mean? It's your draw 2 card. And I feel like when you get cards like that, that's what really pushes you over the edge. Like I think Arlong will become a meta deck when they give it like a yellow 4/6 trigger character that just says, if you have 2 or less life, draw 2 cards.
That would be insane.
Once he gets that far, he's cooking.
Maybe a 4/5.
I think Dofflamingo already has like Scry with Buggy, Boa, and Perona, right? Like I think. I mean, okay. I think they're obviously like intending for the deck to have like a heavy Scry, like engine built into it compared to just like I think Sengoku is just too crazy with bounce law. I think it gets closer to the original design philosophy for Dofflamingo.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see what happens.
Yourself is not with the deck intends. The deck intends for you to go low. You go -1 in card advantage to Scry, and then you play off the top of the deck to go even.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, by the time we air this, it'll be about a month until the ban, so we'll have a month to see if we're right or not. So I think we should probably leave it there.
Yeah, I'm down. Oh, my one last thing before we actually cut it off is that I want to talk about things getting off the ban list.
Moby Dick. I want them to unban Moby Dick.
Yeah, Moby Dick. I think Blackbeard is. I think Whitebeard is bad. And I think there's enough power creep in the meta where, like, if you're going against Whitebeard and he plays Moby Dick and you don't kill him when he's at 2 life, you're bad.
Yeah, you have to play the small shitty Whitebeard pirates to make it worth it, which was very fun in OP2 meta.
Well, I mean, you can play. There's the Rush Aces. I think the Rush Aces getting plus 2k power is like super good. Like,
yeah,
you get a 7/9 or a it's a 5. It's a 5/8. Yeah, it's
there's
a 5/8.
5/6 yeah, which will become a 5/8, and then there's the 7/7, which will become 5/7 or 7.
Does Moby Dick have any playability in Marco or Mono Red Ace?
Which one?
Like Red Ace or Marco, like OPO8 Marco.
I
feel like
think so.
I think unbanning Moby Dick plus the new starter deck will be good for Marco because you get a suite of new blue Whitebeard Pirates cards.
Yeah,
and your red ones work with it too. I just think Moby Dick can get off the ban list. I think all the Whitebeard Pirates lists are all super weak. I don't think giving them plus 2,000 power at the end of the game makes them like OP. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah, I don't. As for any of the other ones, Kabaji, Great Eruption, in the reject, and
please, Mr. Bad Knight, please, give me my reject back, please.
They will not. I don't think they're gonna.
No, it's the worst design card they've ever made.
Yeah, just having something that just says your opponent loses a life for 4 was insane.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
That's yellow pudding right there.
God, I really like yellow purple pudding too. I wanted that to be my main deck, and then it was just too mid. And it doesn't look like the purple category cards are going to work for it. What?
No.
Don't tell it to Kobe. He's like the base lover of pudding, I know.
I love pudding too. That's my only yellow deck I actually have on me right now, my 10 deck circulation, which is crazy. But
you don't have Calgara built? Come on,
I do, but I don't bring him with me because I think he's kind of mid right now.
I don't see the vision on Calgara. Like, why not just play Zoro? Just kill him faster.
I don't want to.
Because it's yellow.
If my whole thing, right, is if I'm taking my life to be aggro, I'm going to just play Arlong.
Yeah, I really like that deck.
I can't wait for Arlong after set level. Actually, let's take this for the next episode, and I can talk about how much I love set 11 Arlong. But this has been a great episode. I think we've had some good talks. I think the only things that we're actually ever going to really ban here is Bounce Law, Sengoku. I feel like those are okay picks. I actually really don't know what we're going to do. I think the meta is relatively healthy, for a card game. Dofflamingo has a really strong meta share, but he is not abusing everybody like everyone thinks they are. Maybe at the local level, I think if you have bad fundamentals, Dofflamingo is definitely a deck that is like a noob stomper. The super high aggro combined with pudding, I feel like oftentimes just destroys newbies. And that could be a bad feeling, right? So we don't know. Will Bandai really focus on the meta share or will they focus on player happiness, right? We'll never know. But for now, I think that's what we're going to go with.
Mm-hmm.